So I'm back. Before we get to it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe as you always. Watch the full video, bro. This shit's getting wild.
Oh my God. Pooh Shiesty's legal team is fighting for him to get released on bond after not only Pooh Shiesty's dad, but Big 30 were released from the feds. Now, they're obviously on like home detention, ankle bracelets, whatever, right? It's very strict, but they're free. Pooh Shiesty, his legal team put in a request for the same treatment, and they clapped back with 65 pages of get the f out of here.
That's wild. They like, nigga, I mean, for him, you are the reason why your dad was supposedly. You are supposedly the reason why your dad and Big 30 was even there. This whole thing was to get you out of your contract. No, you were the ringleader. No. Big 30 been home. He been out all this time. You went to jail, came home. He was out all that time. No issues. You come home and he go to jail because of you. No. No. Especially if you were, because again, you're gonna go on more likely house arrest. You supposedly committed this crime while on house arrest already. No, you are fresh out of jail, still on house arrest. You still did it. No, you made yourself look untrustworthy, bro. No.
You want to make hundreds of dollars. Shiesty poses danger to the community, claims he has shot at least 2 people, opposes bond, and should remain in jail.
Government says rapper Pooh Shiesty is simply too dangerous to be out on bond. The rapper's real name is Lontrell Williams Jr. He is asking to be released on bond ahead of his trial. And you may remember he and 8 other men, including his father, are accused in the January robbing and kidnapping of his record label owner, Gucci Mane. The other defendants, including Shiesty's father and rapper Big 30, they're already out on bond. But here's this new filing. Prosecutors argue Shiesty should not
This lady speaks in slow motion.
be allowed out under any circumstance.
You know, I had every intention on playing that video, but this is my first time listening to it, and I just can't get past how slow she speaks. So I'm just gonna read y'all the documents, because we got shit to do today. We ain't got all this time to be listening to this lady barely get through what she's talking about. Now, this is Pooh Shiesty's motion for de novo review, or basically just to get out of the feds. Now, the introduction is going to be talking about how he got hit with this kidnapping and conspiracy to commit extortion case on La Gooch. We already know that, right? But it would state he was arrested on April 1st, and nearly 3 months after the alleged incident, he was later indicted on April 28th. Throughout that entire period, he was on electronic monitoring. His location was known to law enforcement around the clock, and he did nothing to evade scrutiny. He made every check-in, he passed every drug test, he did not run. But I mean, homie, that's kind of the reason why they're like, no, we ain't letting you out. You did this shit on an ankle monitor. The PO called you right before you did it, and you were like, oh yeah, I don't have permission to be here. All right, I'll check in with y'all. Just let me rob Gucci first.
What I just said in the beginning. Like, nigga, it's like somebody, or say you go to jail, right? And then you break out of jail. They gonna make sure the second time, nigga, that you're not able to do that. Now, instead of you being a regular population, regular cell, you probably by yourself, or you with a cellmate. No, now you on 23-hour lockdown. Your time is gonna be you in another cell outside.
Now, the judge ordered detention for 4 reasons. The weight of evidence against Pooh Shiesty is strong, that Shiesty is a danger to the community, he poses a flight risk, and that no conditions can adequately protect against those concerns. Now, the rest of this document is just basically all the legal verbiage of why he should be released. And, oh, kidnapping, they got to prove this, and we don't feel like they've proved that, whatever. But let's get into the 65-page clapback that the feds filed. Now, this is the government's response to Shiesty's motion. And immediately they would point out Shiesty orchestrated an armed kidnapping and robbery while on federal home confinement. Him and 8 co-conspirators perpetrated the armed kidnapping and robbery of 3 victims in a Dallas, Texas recording studio. Shiesty also leads a Memphis-based street gang referred to as the Choppa Gang. At the time of this offense, Shiesty resided in North Texas, fulfilling the final months of a 63-month sentence for conspiracy to possess firearms and furtherance of violence and drug trafficking crimes in violation of the feds. Now, Memphis detective Paul Petty previously explained to the courts on May 27th regarding co-defendant Kadarius Waters. The Choppa Gang is Memphis-based clique of the Grape Street Crips that has been known to participate in homicides, robberies, carjackings, firearm offenses, narcotics trafficking. And Shiesty is the co-founder of the gang, which has close to 100 or...
They always say that. They only say that because he's a main nigga within it who has money. That's it. You could be the lowest ranking nigga within the gang, but because you have the most money, you're a rapper, you're famous wise because of social media, you're the leader. It's crazy because like with the feds or with law enforcement, there's no way that you can like not prove it. Unless you had a whole, I mean, they still wouldn't believe because these are game niggas. So let's say if it's you and 100 niggas, y'all all coming there, he's not the leader. This nigga's the one started. The nigga like, yeah, I started the gang. It was me. They still like, nah, you only do that. You only saying that to save him. We don't believe you. That's how that shit works, bro. Like, come on, bro. This type of shit probably been going on when Pooh Shiesty was a little kid. Well, because he's a high ranking nigga because he has the most money.
More members. Now, maybe I just didn't know, but I wasn't aware that Pooh Shiesty was a Grape Street Crip. Or maybe he's just Choppa Gang and Choppa Gang has Grape Street members. I don't know.
Yeah, I never heard that. Never heard of it.
Now, as part of Shiesty's sentence, he was required to reside in Frisco, Texas, and he obviously wasn't allowed to have guns, couldn't associate with people with a criminal record, couldn't consume alcohol or use controlled substances. And unless given specific permission, Shiesty was required to remain at his house, but routinely failed to abide by these conditions throughout the course of his home confinement, assisted in skirting these requirements through the help of collusive VOA employees. Investigators have now learned that Shiesty was involved in an inappropriate relationship with at least one of his VOA case supervisors, and that his VOA employee was actively involved in entering fake day passes that would allow him to travel to unapproved locations while he was supposed to be confined to his house. This misconduct extended to the day of the kidnapping itself. On that day, the employee entered 3 day passes, allowing Shiesty to travel, and contacted him 19 times over the course of the day. That person was terminated.
That's crazy. So the whole time, he had somebody within the place that I guess had monitored the ankle monitor. He had somebody in there. And that person was calling that nigga probably like, bro, go home, please, bro. You don't get me fired, bro. Please go. And they say he called him 19 times. And he probably was begging, bro, please go back home, dog. That's like you being a dummy. You say you work at a car lot. You work at a car lot. You let your homie borrow a car. And then he's taking forever to bring it back your manager on the way. Come on,
for that conduct. Wait a minute, you're telling me Pooh Shiesty had Shiesty federal employees that were giving him fake passes so that he could leave his home confinement? So technically he had permission. It was just illegal permission to be out, but does that fall on him? Or does that fall on...
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends on what because they're going to say you coerce this person to do it. This person wasn't doing it just because. You either coerce them with money, love, affection, opportunity of a music opportunity, their family having a music opportunity, something. This person wasn't doing that shit for nothing.
the employee that was doing things for him. But this right here is where things get crazy. This release, printed by Shiesty's dad at Staples hours before the offense, was later recovered from Shiesty's dad's emails. Gucci refused to sign, and that caused Shiesty to instruct Big 30 to bring him his bag. When he did so, he produced an AK-styled pistol described by the victims as a chopper, pointed it at Gucci's head, and repeated his demand.
That's crazy. This is the chopper. This is Gucci. That's Pooh. That's Pooh. That's his dad. This is the paperwork. And behind me is Gucci right here. And that's Pooh Shiesty right here. Yeah, it's over. It's over. Because they're going to say, one, again, you wasn't supposed to be there. You wasn't supposed to be, because you didn't have permission to be there because you're on house arrest. Two, you wasn't supposed to be around this nigga. More like he's a felon. Three, you wasn't supposed to be around this pistol. Four, nigga, what did you need this for? And this proves what he was saying, whether Gucci wanted to say something or not. This proves that shit happened.
So Gucci signed the paper. The co-defendant, DeMarcus Glover, who had entered the recording room as the altercation ensued, blocked the door holding a Draco.
And it looked like a door behind him. I see the line right there. That looked like a door. Don't the alarm be by the door sometimes? So you can hit the alarm and leave out?
Now, this is Gucci. We can see Shiesty. And this is Shiesty's dad right here holding the fucking document. So this is insane. They literally have the video of this going down, which initially we thought they didn't.
Oh God, everybody was swearing up and down that it's no video inside the studio. It's no camera in there. They don't have it. Psh, they got it.
We thought they didn't have this key piece of evidence.
Or didn't when it said that Pooh Shiesty made Big 30 record it, that's probably where that's from. That's probably from Big 30 recording it. Because if that would have been from a camera angle, it would have been higher. It would have been looking down at them.
Now we're seeing they have it. Now, again, the feds are stating the weight of the evidence against Shiesty is extraordinarily strong. And this is crazy because we all thought the case could be weak. His lawyer came out and said, look, there's no video, there's no guns that have been recovered, there's no jewelry that's been recovered, like we don't have any of this, they haven't tied my client to it. But the feds are like, nah, we got you. The brunt of Shiesty's argument in favor of his pretrial release is premised on his perception that the weight of the evidence in this case does not support detention. The fact includes the cooperation of all 5 victims and witnesses, cell phone location data, and surveillance video placing the co-conspirators at the scene, and the video that Big 30 filed of RD, Roderick Davis, aka the Gooch, in the recording room being forced to declare that Pooh Shiesty was dropped from the label and released from the contract. The judge called this evidence strong, and on April 8th, on a record that did not yet include the release paperwork of the video, both have now been recovered. So I don't know if Shiesty planned this prior, we don't know this, but Big 30 thought he was doing his big one by recording Gucci saying, hey, I'm releasing him from the contract. And this video apparently not only shows somebody with a gun, shows a little bit more than they wanted it to show. This video was recovered, even though Big 30 apparently smashed or attempted to get rid of the phone.
Nothing is permanently deleted. I don't know how many times people got to say this shit on the internet for it to recognize in people's head. Nothing is permanently deleted. Nothing. Even though you might think, oh, it's so many cell phones on here, they could never, nigga, every phone is like a computer. Every computer has an IP address. Every phone has one too. They're all unique. They're not all the same. So that phone during the time you had it recorded this, and this here it is. Even if you deleted that photo, I mean delete that video and restart another one. Hey, bro, move out the way. Move out the way. Like I got you in the scene last time. Move. It's still too late. It's too late. It's not like the file, the where it goes, where the fuck is gonna delete the old one. And, all right, here's a new one. No, it's gonna put everything that you ever put on that phone into one file, and it's all yours.
They were able to get it. Among other evidence, the government's case includes not one but 5 cooperating victims and witnesses. Shiesty's motion erroneously asserts that the sum total of the government's case rests solely on a single victim, Gucci, who he further claims has now publicly recanted. Preliminary, it is telling that Shiesty provides no exhibits, evidence, context, or citations to support the repeated assertion in his filing that any victims of this offense has publicly recanted, aside from his conclusory assertions of the same. Again, this is all like...
I'm reading this right here. It says notably, while weight of evidence of it says weight of evidence is a factor of the court to consider. Courts, I don't know why they put courts again, have found a factor to be at least. So I mean, the evidence, even though it's strong, that's the least reason why they kept him in jail. So it's more than just this evidence.
Legal bullshit. We know Gucci didn't recant. Gucci dropped a diss song explaining the whole fucking thing. So how the fuck is anyone thinking that Gucci recanted his statement when he...
Because some people think, oh, if nigga, it's still snitching, bro. People be feeling like, oh, if I don't go to court, it ain't snitching. You tell the police anything, that's snitching. You tell about you speak about a crime that's people have not been convicted of yet. It's still somebody free. It's this shit still ongoing. You talk about this shit in a song. That is snitching. I don't be saying how rappers don't be realizing that, bro. They be trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm just telling the story. No, nigga, you're snitching, bro. If you're speaking about a crime where you, the person who did it, the people who did it, the person it was like, if nowhere has been in court for this crime yet, it's like me. All right, I can say I went to jail for strong arm robbery, right? I can say that now because it already happened. If I would have said this, like, oh, nigga, I be strong arm robbery, motherfuckers, and I ain't never been in jail yet. That's snitching on myself. And that's what rappers do.
He dropped a diss song, literally dissing Shiesty in Big 30, calling him a big flunky. In fact, the paperwork states the government is presently unaware of any statements made by any of the victims that in any way challenge the consistent narrative provided to law enforcement. And in April of 2026, after each co-conspirator had been apprehended, investigators conducted follow-up interviews with all 5 cooperating witnesses and victims. Each remained consistent with their prior accounts and reaffirmed their cooperation with the prosecution. So they're not only saying, look, we don't have any statements of any of them saying this didn't happen. They're saying, look, we doubled back and re-interviewed the victims, and all of them are saying, y'all did it.
Yeah, even Gucci. So it's like nigga. So he hopped on the now. I ain't telling. I'll never tell the police nothing. Oh yeah, that nigga did it though. Hey, what? I'll confirm what I said. He did it. It was him. I told you the last time.
Gucci man doubled back and told twice. He didn't just tell initially, he told again. Now, apparently they also got some cell phone text messages. In this case, Shiesty used the cell phone to send text to Gucci coordinating the meeting. He encouraged Big 30 to capture Gucci's verbal release of contract using Big 30's cell phone, and he sent a call to arms to a group chat containing Chopper Gang members using an encrypted cell phone message application, Signal. So I just said previously, we don't know if Shiesty told 30 to do it. Apparently he did. He said, hey, you finna record this shit. And now that's one of the biggest pieces of evidence against him. I mean, this is getting bad. We're starting to see how much evidence they have. And you gotta understand this.
See, Pooh Shiesty is just prime example of Just because somebody is rich does not mean they're smart. You got lucky. You just got supported, bro. That's it. Cause he's dumb. He's dumb. Anybody doing major crime in today's time, you're dumb. You gotta be. You 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 gotta be, bro. Because nigga, one, everything can be tracked. Everything. Whether if you carrying a phone with you, every step, nigga, it's cell phone towers everywhere. Every city, every few blocks, it's another cell phone tower. Your phone will ping off that motherfucker whether you made a phone call or not. There's cameras everywhere. People snitching without nigga like back then when we were kids and the people who are who are older were kids like talking about like the 60s and shit. Then 60s, probably early 70s, early 80s, early 90s, niggas were getting whacked off for snitching. This is 2026, nigga. Nobody's getting touched, bro. Probably depending on where you're from, certain shit might still happen. But for the most part, nigga, think about it. What the for the most part, depending on who you might tell on, what max can your homies do to you, nigga? A few bumps and bruises? You still alive? You still alive. You didn't get no major wounds where you can't walk away from. That shit will heal in a few days. And people know that. So that nigga like nigga, I ain't worried about them niggas. And they gonna tell. That's what to me it's still crazy because like nigga, why you put yourself in that position when you can just easy tell a nigga no. You know yourself better than anybody knows you. Anybody, whether it's your girlfriend, whether it's your parents, whether it's your homies, you know you better than anybody knows you because there's things you have thought about, and then it's things that you have done, it's things that you probably said that other people don't know about. You feel me? So therefore, like nigga, don't put yourself in a position to where you think you have a proof point to another nigga because you don't. You have no point to prove to the next nigga. The only person that you proving a point to is yourself. And you know what you're about. You know what you're willing to do. You know what you're not willing to do. And I always remember, especially when it comes to street shit, I preach this shit all the time because niggas need to wake up and take heed to it. You're doing all this, throwing your life away, risking your life, taking other people's life and all this shit for a block, for a color, and for a word you don't own. You don't own it. You don't make no money from it. Your family will never make no money from it. From nothing. 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 And then as human beings, especially as black people or Mexicans, that shit cut off a lot of doors. Oh, you from this shit? You from this block, this hood, this it's whatever. You can't now a certain place you can't go. Now a certain people you can't date.
This is like watching a sports game play out, right? Or a UFC fight, right? Whoever you got winning, like, oh, I want him to win. And now you're starting to see the other team score or the other fighter whoop him. And you're like, damn, his chances of winning seem to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller because more and more and more shit are starting to come to light. But here, the feds are painting Shiesty as a violent felon, unwilling and unable to follow court-imposed rules. On the date of the kidnapping and robbery, Shiesty was still serving his 63-month sentence. The conduct behind this prosecution and subsequent conviction was prolonged and severe and included Shiesty shooting individuals on 2 separate occasions. Shiesty and his Chopper Gang affiliates have been on law enforcement's radar since at least 2018. In December of 2019, Memphis police officers executed a search warrant at Shiesty's residence and found him sitting on a Glock 22 pistol, along with a 50-round drum magazine loaded with approximately 24 rounds, marijuana, and a bunch of money. In July of 2020, Shiesty reportedly threw fireworks at a gas station and drove away and returned in the same vehicle, at which point an occupant of the vehicle shot at the gas station. So these dudes are just trying to blow shit up on some Grand Theft.
Yeah, they dumb. They dumb. That's sorry to keep pausing, but it be just so dumb. Like you're from a city where a lot of people don't make it out of. You made it, and you want to make it worse so other people can't make it, bro. That's like when we watch Black Panther, and then Michael B. Jordan came in. When he got it, he burnt the rest of the plants. You a hater, bro. Why, nigga? You made it in, so you want to make it hard for other people to make it in. You want to blow it. You want to blow up a gas station, bro. How you know other people don't need that gas?
Auto shit. Why would you be throwing fireworks at a gas station and then shooting at it? On October 9th of 2020, Shiesty drove a lime green McLaren with a fellow.
His problem is ever, yeah, he needs to be locked up. You know, it's certain people like, oh, free that nigga, free this nigga, but you kind of funny. That nigga got 15 bodies. No, do not free that man. He needs to be exactly where he's at. Cause this what you like. The shit in jail, you're around a bunch of other gangbangers, right? For the most part. So therefore, if you want that's what you want to do. Obviously, you don't care about having money because you care about your freedom and having money. You wouldn't be doing shit on a daily basis to get yourself back in there. Because again, this whole shit, nigga, again, I went to jail for strong arm robbery. I went to jail for this shit. You think I was robbing people I knew? No, bro. That makes it harder for you to get away. You cannot rob somebody that you personally know. Like, that makes no sense, bro. And that, like, the name within itself, Shiesty. In LA, that means you a snake. That means you are not trustworthy. He said all the time, the snakiest snake of them all. That's not a good thing, sir.
Chopper gang leader to commit an armed robbery. This was the case that he went to prison for. Shiesty ultimately shot one victim with his Draco. His fellow gang leader shot a second, and the entire incident was caught on video. If this pattern of violence was not enough, in May of 2021, while out on state bond, Shiesty shot a security guard at a club as he and his entourage were being removed from the venue. Prior to this assault, Shiesty had performed at this very club and had traveled to this performance armed. Now, Shiesty's street resume looks amazing if he's talking to the homies, but on federal papers, the shit looks fucking terrible. Now, the feds would quadruple down, saying no condition of release can protect the community or the witness.
Nah, that's only if his homies are dumb. Not every nigga in the streets is dumb. I mean, you making dumb decisions, but you are not dumb. Yourself. You're just making dumb decisions. And one of the decisions is hopefully before it's too late, it's gonna wake you up and you're gonna realize like it's time to move it a little differently. But this thing is very, very dumb.
Witnesses against Shiesty from the danger he poses. The danger here is concrete. Shiesty himself has shot at least 2 people across 2 separate incidents. He leads a Memphis street gang of roughly 100 members, a gang that, as a Memphis gang detective has already testified, commits homicides, robberies, carjackings, and firearm and drug offenses. And when a business dispute did not go his way, he resolved it by luring the other side to Texas and putting a gun to a man's head. This is an individual who uses deception and violence to get his way. And that is why Shiesty is one of the top rappers of 2026, because that's what the fans like. They like to hear you're with the shit and you'll put a Draco to Gucci's head and completely kill whatever reputation Gucci had. And, you know, they want you to be free, but if you get life plus a big 30 on top of that, they're all just going to forget about you. They'll say free Shiesty for a couple years, and then after that, they're gonna go listen to somebody else. And this is this.
That's another. Man, I don't want to keep preaching, bro. But I'm just saying, bro. I just said it on all my channels, bro. Like this, it's dumb. The street shit is very, very dumb. Especially like again for Pooh Shiesty, nigga. You just came home. 1, 2, nigga. You're in position to make so much money, bro. So much money. So much money. And you throw it all away. If I was him right now, I would be sick, bro. I would be sick. Cause like nigga, I was just on top. Everybody was waiting for my next song, my next album, my next mixtape, my next whatever. I throw it away. By trying to rob somebody who know me with other people who are not street on camera It's like how much planning could he have done? Because obviously, if you plan this shit out, you didn't plan it out right. You wouldn't think clearly. Because there's no way possible that you thought about this shit and was like, yeah, this is the right move to do. Gucci ain't finna tell. And the other people that's with him, not gonna tell.
Sad reality of crashing out. While Shiesty may be a solidified gangster, this is where it takes you. And if you want to follow in these footsteps and have the reputation he has, be prepared for facing forever in federal prison, because that's what comes with it. And it's so bad that apparently one of Gucci's security guards even emailed the judge begging for Shiesty not to get released. Dear Judge, this is CW, a victim and survivor from the incident that occurred on January 10th, 2026. First, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide my statement and response regarding the decision at hand concerning the bond for Shiesty. I respectfully ask that Shiesty remain remanded with no bond due to the safety concerns for myself and my family. Shiesty was aware that I am a vested retired police officer, and that knowledge did not stop him from committing.
See? Look, and you, again, how much planning could this nigga have done? Because, bruh, you were going with Gucci around other people who were not street people. Two, you were going to a building that had cameras on it. Three, this nigga this security guard was an ex-law enforcement. Nigga, how much planning could you have thought about? And if you thought about everything and you still would say, yeah, we're gonna go, did you thought Gucci was like, Gucci is still the same nigga from 2005 or some shit? Like, this still the same nigga that's living in the hood, nigga that's trying to make it, and then that he had control over everybody with him, like, hey, y'all not gonna snitch on him. You're not calling the police. I can't. No, this is not that. It's not gonna happen, bro. Like, nigga, if you rob a street nigga and this street nigga is with 5 corporate people, nigga, you think he finna control all them and they're not gonna tell nothing? Even if they say, yeah, all right, we're not gonna tell on him. All right, we're gonna let it go. Soon as they get away from him, nigga, they call in the law. And they gonna include him with it. Yeah, this dumb motherfucker told me not to call.
These actions. Because of this, I am deeply concerned about what he may attempt to do if he is released. Out of all the victims involved in this case, I am the only one who lives in Texas, and I am extremely fearful of his ability to reach me or my family if he is granted bond. His actions show a disregard for the safety and well-being of others. These alleged crimes were committed while he was...
I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to keep pausing, but they filed for even exposing that this letter was even sent. Why would you do this? He's telling y'all he's in fear of this man who y'all say is a leader of 100-man gang, and y'all gonna tell that he is... That was so dumb. So dumb. Like, Texas victim and survivor. Victim and survivor. Y'all, the court is claiming that Pooh Shiesty is so grimy and a leader of 100-man gang who's committing all these crimes. And y'all gonna still expose that one of the victims is begging you not to release him because he's in fear of his life. I have young children. Put that out. What the fuck, bro? That is crazy. That is crazy. Like, you can't. They can't. I don't even know what to say.
Already under government monitored release, which raises serious concerns for me about what would prevent him from causing further harm if given another opportunity. Prior to this incident, Shiesty was given a second chance and was granted bail/bond with monitoring conditions. Despite those conditions, he is once again accused of committing another crime that resulted in a person being shot. My wife and I are both afraid of what his mindset may be if he is released. Since the incident, I have found myself constantly watching vehicles passing by my home, worried that he or someone connected to him may attempt to harm me or my family. I have young children, and because of this fear, I have limited their ability to go outside and enjoy normal activities as they should. Judge, I respectfully ask that you consider the safety and security of my family and me When making your decision regarding Bond, I believe keeping Shiesty detained is necessary to protect us and prevent further harm. I'm going to call it right now. I don't think he's ever going to be released out on bond. I don't think he's going to be released, I don't know, for the next 10 to 15 years. That's being nice about it. If I'm being honest, I don't think Shiesty's coming home off this case. There's 5 people saying he did it. There's now video that's been recovered. They have a shitload of evidence. I don't see how any lawyer is going to be able to dumb this shit down. And we'll just have to wait until the next.
Yeah, I think he's fucking. Then the victim dude, shit, he's more like he, every time Pooh Shiesty go for parole, he's gonna be there like, no, don't do it, judge, or don't do it, people, don't do it, boy, whatever the fuck you call him. But that is still crazy that they put that letter out there though. That's crazy. Like he's telling you he's in fear, and y'all still like I don't get how law enforcement be doing shit like that. You know, depending on who you're telling on, can get you unalive, and they still would let the world know that you did it.